In this video I'm going to be showing you the tutorial for my original card trick, which I performed maybe 2 weeks ago. So what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to go and watch the performance, which will be here on the card box, and then come back and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so hopefully you went and watched that. And now there is a slight setup. It's not a big setup and it won't take very long. So what you're going to need is one indifferent card, which in my performance was the actual Guardian Angel. And what you're going to need also is you're going to need to take out the 4 aces. And now what the setup is actually going to be 2 aces on the top of the deck and 2 aces on the bottom of the deck, and that is mainly the setup. So also with that, I'm not going to be going through the whole story that was in the card trick that I performed. If you want to go and see that story, then go and watch the performance and you can get the story from there. So now into the actual trick, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to get them to pick 2 cards, and you can just get them to pick 2 cards by just asking them to point out 2 cards to you. I'd suggest not asking them to pick 2 cards, mainly for the fact they could pick these 2 aces, so they could reach in for the bottom. My spectators would mainly pick one of these 2 aces, which you don't want them to do. So you just go through and just maybe they'll point to this card and point to this card. So then you just get these to take a look at the selections. Now they've took a look at the selections, what you're going to do, you're going to have to control them any way you like back to the top of the deck. But with that, the problem will be that you have to keep these 2 aces on the top and the 2 aces on the bottom. You have to keep them in position. So quickly I'll just take you through what I did. I just swing cut in the performance, caught a break there, took one of the selections, put it in, showed them it's in about halfway, and as I pushed it in, just push down on it, and that will create a natural break there, but won't be able to be seen from the spectator's point of view. And then you're just going to hold the break there as a thumb break, and then you're just going to basically cut it in 1 back to the top of the deck. It's important that you cut it in 1, because if you cut it into 2, you'll be cutting the aces into the middle of the pack. Now for the second one, you know, any way you want, just convince them that this card is going into the middle of the deck, and then they're both on top, and then most importantly the aces are still there in position. So now what you're going to do is you're going to do a double undercut, which is just basically just turn your wrist this way and pushing one card over and catch the break underneath it, and then you convert that break into a thumb break like this. And then you're just going to take half the cards of this block here, just take them and put it on top of that break, take the rest of them and put it on top of that break. So now your situation check is you have 2 aces on top with the selection on top of them, you have the selection on the very bottom with 2 aces above that. And then basically what you're going to do is, in the performance, I wouldn't advise what I did in the performance here, because I took the joker and I said ask them to stop wherever I want, because what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to sandwich this joker between the top and bottom card, convincing them that it's been sandwiched wherever they tell you to stop in between these 2 cards. So in my performance I wouldn't advise what I did, because I just riffled down wherever they said to stop, swing cut, and then stuck it between them there. It can work, but what I'd advise doing is a move which is used by Miss Mag822 and Andy Field Magic, an original effect they came up with called running count or something like that. And then I think it's a reverse packet turnover move or something like that. And then what you're basically going to do, you're going to riffle down wherever they say stop, you're actually going to slide the joker in there, but what I'd advise doing is sliding it in face down like so. And then you're just going to ask them the question, do you think that is still the joker? And then they're gonna think you're mad and just say, yeah, of course it is. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take everything above the joker, like this card, up to here, take it off, swing that joker over on top of this packet, face up, and then put this packet on top of that joker. Now what I basically did is just made it look like you were just showing them that the joker, that it was still a joker, but what you basically did there is you stuck that joker between the 2 selections. And what you're going to have to do is, when you're showing them that that you stuck it between the 2 selections, you're going to have to make a break here. And importantly, remember which part of this deck was the bottom half and which half was the top half. Now I know this was the bottom and this was the top, and you're going to square up and make it into 2 piles. Now for the next part of the trick, you're just going to, this is the bottom half of the deck, and now it's important to remember which one it is, because if it's the bottom half of the deck, the 2 aces will be on top of the pile. If it's the top half of the deck, the 2 aces will be on the bottom of the pile. So I know this was the bottom half, so I know the aces are on top. So what I'm going to have to do here is do an overhand shuffle and just take the top 2 cards off, which would be the 2 aces as they are, and then just shuffle the rest of this packet off however you want. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take the top and bottom card, grip it and pull them off, and then just riffle this, just overhand the rest of this off, making sure you hold on to the very last card. Hold on there, and the very last card will be the ace, which will go back on top. So now you've set it up so you have an ace on top of the pile and an ace on the bottom of the pile. Now you basically, on this pile, you already have half the move done for you because the aces are already on the bottom of the pile. So you're just going to take the top and bottom cards again and overhand the rest of these cards off until you're left with 1 card, which will then just be left on top of the deck, which will be another ace. So now all you have to do now, you just square up these packets against each other, and then you basically just going to throw them into the middle like so, just like throw them in, and then what you're going to do is you're going to hold on to the top and bottom card of each pile. So just throw it and hold on to the top and bottom card of each pile, and then you can just show them. If you're doing a story, you can make it fit in. If not, you just show them that you just took out them 4 aces. Okay, so that is the tutorial for my original card trick. I hope it was helpful. If it was, give it a like, and I think that's it. So make sure to subscribe. Many more videos, great videos coming up soon, great card tricks and tutorials. So that's it.